Now, this video, my realistic expectations for the Texans wide receivers, it's really been one that I've been looking forward to making ever since the D-Hop trade, because there's a lot of false narratives going around revolving the Texans wide receivers, and that is Deshaun Watson has no one to throw to. Seriously? You're telling me if Patrick Mahomes had Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, Randall Cobb, Kenny Stills, Kiki QT, and like the other guys, the tight ends and the receiving backs, would they be saying the same thing? No, they wouldn't. They'd be saying, oh my god, Patrick Mahomes has all this speed. He has all these weapons. Oh my god, you're not going to stop him. Oh my god, he's a god. Oh my god, make a shrine out of him. Like, they'd be saying stuff like that. But since it's on the Texans, oh man, they're not even good. They don't have D-Hop. Who's Deshaun gonna throw to? They don't have an O-line. Oh my god, Will Fuller's gonna trip on the couch and break his back. Oh my god, Brandon Cooks, he's always hurt. Even though he's only missed like 8 games in his entire career, 6-7 year career? No. Those narratives are dumb. And I am expecting this Texans wide receiver group to be the best in franchise history, because guess what? This is the best wide receiver group the Texans have ever had. And, honestly, it's not saying much, because from like 2003 to 2012, Texans only had Andre Johnson. It wasn't until 2013 that they added D-Hop. And then like 2 years after they added D-Hop, Andre wanted out. So then it was just D-Hop. I mean, they brought in Cecil Shorts and Nate Washington. There wasn't much there. Obviously, there was like other dudes like Keyshawn Martin, Jalen Strong, Tavir Posey. Dudes like that didn't really end up doing much. And then there was last year, which was probably our most talented up to date, before this year, with D-Hop, Will Fuller, and Kenny Stills, and obviously Kiki QT. But now they replaced D-Hop with Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb. So now you have way more options. Deshaun has options for days, guys. For days. And let me just say this. People are saying, but D-Hop in the double teams. That's a load of BS, man. D-Hop ain't get double teamed like that. He didn't. Go watch the tape. He didn't get double teamed like that. He didn't get double teamed how you think. No, there was occasions where he obviously acquired more attention, but the guy that people pay attention to is Will Fuller, because they don't want to get burnt. Let me ask you this question. If you're an NFL defense, would you rather D-Hop tear you up for a whole drive and have 5 receptions and maybe go get a touchdown? Or would you rather Will Fuller beat you on one play and go get the touchdown? You're taking D-Hop. Easily. You're not letting a dude beat you on one play and score a quick touchdown. It's just not the way things go. A lot of defenses do the bend but don't break thing. And that's why there would be so much attention given to Will Fuller. That's why when Will Fuller got hurt, the Texans offense went completely to trash. It went trash. Like, you can look at the numbers. They're right there. When Will Fuller plays, Texans are better. When he doesn't, their offense is mediocre at best. So, what do the Texans do? They trade away D-Hop for David Johnson and Ross Blacklock, essentially. Not a good trade. Not justifying the trade. The trade is always going to be bad, in my opinion, no matter what happens from here on out, because I do believe the Texans could have got more, but whatever, we're not here to talk about that. But then they go get Brandon Cooks, another elite deep threat. So you can make the argument that, oh my god, D-Hop double teams, D-Hop shifted the coverage towards him. Well, guess what? Now you got Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks. Fuller gets hurt, don't matter. We still got Brandon Cooks. They're both out there. Guess what? Safeties are going to be playing 20 yards off the line of scrimmage because they don't want to get burnt. Like, why can't people comprehend this simple thing? It's simple. D-Hop, he might require double teams. He might, shift the coverage. But guess what? Brandon Cooks does something even better. He pushes the safeties further back. He makes corners play 10 yards off the line of scrimmage because they're not going to press him because they know if they press him and he gets an easy release, that's a touchdown. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do it to Will Fuller either because it's the same thing. Now guess what? The safeties are playing 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. The corners are 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Well, guess what? Brandon Cooks, David Johnson, the tight ends, Kiki QT, Kenny Stills, they're all going to eat underneath. Easily. So, what are they going to do? What are defenses going to do? Are they going to play the deep ball and let Deshaun tear him up underneath with all these other weapons? Or are they going to try to cover the underneath and have Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks tear him up over top? They're screwed. I don't know why people can't understand this simple concept. This is basic football. You got fast guys on the outside. Well, you got to play further back because you don't want them to burn you. Like, it's so simple. Yet people are like, no D-Hop, double team, no good offense because no D-Hop. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. This offense got way better. It's going to be more explosive. It can be a dink and dunk offense if we really want it to be because they're going to be playing the over the top. They don't want to get beat by Fuller or Cooks for a one-play touchdown or a 50-yard play. So they're going to be playing over the top. And guess what? Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller aren't one-trick ponies. They're not John Ross. They're not dudes that can just run really fast in a straight line. No, they run the complete route tree. So, you're going to have Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks every now and then running a slant off a free release. Dangerous. Scary. You're not stopping this offense. This wide receiver group is the best the Texans have ever had. And anyone who disagrees, well, you're just lying to yourself. Or you're just being negative just to be negative because that's the lifestyle you like to live. Or, you're still not over the D-Hop trade. And it's been like, what? 4 months? 3 months maybe? I don't know. Get over it. Take a step back. Look at this group of wide receivers. It's better. It's way better. Anyways, end of rant right there. I mean, you can probably already tell. I'm very, very high on this Texans wide receiver group. I think they're better without D-Hop with this receiver group. I'm not saying, take away D-Hop, your team's better. No, I'm saying, with the guys we brought in to replace D-Hop. Because obviously D-Hop's a very good player. So you can't really replace his presence, I guess, with one guy. You kind of have to have a lot of guys pick up the slack. And, a lot of players have said it before too. So, yeah, I think Randall Cobb, Brandon Cooks, and then obviously, you got David Johnson as well. He's also a receiving threat. Like, I think they can definitely pick up the slack and then some because it's 3 players as opposed to 1. Now, for Brandon Cooks, concussions. No, I mean, I'm not really worried about that. If he does get a concussion, he's only going to be out like a game or 2. So I am predicting Brandon Cooks to play about 14 to 16 games, and that includes the potential Week 17 resting starters game. And I expect Brandon Cooks to have like 75 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Now, last year, people are going to say, oh my god, but Brandon Cooks didn't do anything. He wasn't good. He had like 500 yards. You're going from Jared Goff and that atrocious Rams offense. Look at their offense. It was terrible last year. To Deshaun Watson, the best deep passing quarterback in the NFL. Look up the stats. They all say Deshaun's the best. All of them. And that was without, Will Fuller for a good chunk of the year. Imagine you add another deep threat to this team. His numbers are only going to get better. Deshaun's going into year 4. He's only going to get better. So, Brandon Cooks with Deshaun Watson, Brandon Cooks had never had a season under 1,000 receiving yards up until last year. So, Brandon Cooks, he's like, 26, 27? He's still in his prime. He's going to go back to shape, and he's going to be very, very good for this Texans team. Now, William Fuller. Now, Will Fuller, I expect him to play somewhere around 10 to 12 games. But I still expect him to do a lot of damage because at the end of the day, if you go back to from when Deshaun Watson got here, Will Fuller has low-key been Deshaun's, like, maybe not his favorite weapon, his favorite target, but definitely his most dangerous one. So I do feel like Fuller is still going to cause some damage in those 10 to 12 games that he does play. So I have him down for 50 receptions for 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think he will get more touchdowns than Brandon Cooks because he's been in this offense longer, so he knows what to do. And I feel like they'll use him more in the red zone because, like I said, he knows the offense more. Even though Brandon Cooks has been with the Patriots and they run a similar offense to us, but familiarity definitely matters, and Fuller has been here since Deshaun got here, so I think that'll help him out a bit. Now, Randall Cobb, I have Randall Cobb at 60 receptions, 800 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like I was saying earlier, Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks are going to open up everything for the underneath routes and stuff. And I think that's where Randall Cobb is really, really, really going to eat. I feel like he's going to have more receptions and yards than Will Fuller. But I do see him having only 2 touchdowns because I don't think he'll really get many red zone touches. He'll pretty much get more touches in between the 20s to keep the chains moving. And a lot of people have said, well, now that D-Hop's gone, who's that guy you go to on third downs and situations like that? Well, it's Randall Cobb, because if they're covering everyone, deep, like Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks, and that means it's going to be Randall Cobb one-on-one, and as quick as Randall Cobb is, he's going to get open immediately. So, and keep in mind, some people are going to say, well, Randall Cobb had 5 dropped passes last year. Well, he was playing with Dak Prescott. Compare Dak Prescott's ball to Deshaun Watson's ball. Deshaun throws a very, very catchable ball. So I don't see him having 5 drops this year, maybe like 1 or 2, because, players drop balls. It happens, whatever. So, yeah, I see Randall Cobb definitely eating underneath, keeping the chains moving, in between the 20s type of thing. And then we have Kenny Stills. Now, Kenny Stills, I see him being our 4th wide receiver. Like, whenever there's 4 wide receiver sets, he goes out there. I see him being the backup to Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, and, maybe Randall Cobb as well. So he's definitely going to get a lot of playing time, even if he's the 4th wide receiver. And I have him down as 45 receptions, 600 yards, and 4 touchdowns, which are stats somewhat similar to last year. But last year he was the 3rd wide receiver. But I feel like this year we're going to be more pass happy with a better O-line. 2 rookies from last year going into year 2 is going to be better. Nermy Tunsil going into year 2 with the Texans. So the O-line is going to be better, and I feel like the Texans are going to go into a more of a passing approach this year, especially when you have 2 backs like David Johnson and Duke Johnson that are better receivers than actual running backs, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think Kenny Stills, he'll get 4 touchdowns as well. And I have also Kiki QT. I don't think Kiki gets cut. A lot of you guys have been saying, oh, Kiki's going to get cut or trade Kiki. I don't see it. O'Brien already said there's a veteran year. And if you recall, I think it was like back in April, this press conference, like he mentioned about, like the reliable options. He mentioned Kiki QT. So I think that's very important, because if Kiki QT was on the way out, he wouldn't have mentioned him, kind of similar to how he did with Deshaun Gibson. He mentioned all the safeties, but didn't mention Gibson. And then like 2 weeks later, Gibson got cut. So Kiki QT, in my opinion, is safe. He's been working really hard, but unfortunately for Kiki, he's the 5th wide receiver, so he's not going to get that much playing time, but I do feel like he'll have a little impact. So I have him down as 25 receptions for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he'll bounce back, and then next year or the year after that, in his 4th year, he's going to have an increased role, because we're going to be without either Kenny Stills or Will Fuller. We're not keeping both. So we'll have Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Kiki QT, and probably Isaiah Coulter as our 4 wide receivers in 2021. And, I don't think this guy makes the team, but I decided to include him just for fun. And that's DeAndre Carter. If he does make the team, he will play a little bit. So I have him down as like 10 receptions for 150 yards. He'll have like a random or two random like gains of 30 yards like last year. So yeah, that's what I think about DeAndre Carter. I mean, hopefully Kiki QT plays special teams for us, like as a returner, punt returner as well. And we're able to move on from DeAndre Carter because I'm still hurt about him fumbling that kickoff return against the Chiefs. But yeah, like I said at the start of the video, man, this wide receiver group is very, very good. And I feel like a lot of people are definitely sleeping on them. Like, I mean, I saw the Texans supporting cast ranked at 22 in the NFL. No, this is definitely a top 10 supporting cast. We have a top 8 offensive line. We probably have a top 5 receiving core. Our running backs could be better, but still, though, I mean, running backs are running backs. Running backs aren't really all that valuable in the NFL. I mean, next year, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, a bunch of good running backs are scheduled to be free agents. So, I mean, that should tell you all about how the NFL values these running backs. But, yeah, those are just my thoughts. I think this Texans wide receiver group is amazing. And, yeah, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.